Hey there, everyone. I'm Matt, and welcome back to the Automation Consulting Services YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to automate Twitter posts using n8n and the Twitter API so you can save time and focus on the parts of your business that you really want to focus on. Social media and content creation for social media marketing is obviously very important for any business. So whether you're a business owner or you're watching this as a social media manager, a content creator, or a tech enthusiast, this workflow is just going to make your life simpler, and hopefully what it'll do is just open your mind to the possibilities of what you can automate and do with n8n. So I'm going to show you one particular use case and kind of walk you through it. I'm not going to go through every step of the process. Just because I don't think it'll be all that relevant to you necessarily. But again, this is to just kind of open your mind to the possibilities of what you can do with these tools. And it's really, really powerful. I think you'll enjoy it and learn a lot from it. And I will try to do this step by step. To a certain extent, again, it won't be every little step, but just drop any questions or comments that you have for me in the comment section of this video, and me or someone from the team will answer that and get back to you as quickly as we can. So just to start here, I want to run the demo for you and just give you a sense of kind of what it's going to do. So again, this is a particular use case, but let me show you. This is the account that is connected right now, and this is a tweet. I need a dinner recommendation tonight in LA. Help me out. So what's going to happen when we run this flow, I'll run it, is that tweet is going to be retrieved from Twitter through the Twitter API. We are going to generate a response using ChatGPT's 4.0 mini model. And then for this particular use case, which is something I sold to a client, the client wanted to generate bots. He wanted to have a couple Twitter bots that were created, and he wanted them to reply to his posts and kind of hype up his post as kind of like Twitter hype bots. That was his particular use case. Every business is going to be a little different in kind of what they want to do. But you can see this is running through. The workflow executes successfully. So let's go check out and see. And we can see we got 4 comments, right, from the 4 replies. And we'll just go check out the comments real quick. They're going to be kind of silly. And you can see because we didn't wait long enough, the spam filter picked them up. So there are the 4 comments, and we can get into them later. But you can see it left like a real recommendation. I need a dinner recommendation. Little Sister. I've never been to Little Sister in LA, but I'm sure it's a real spot. Great. So that is the flow. And kind of what I want to do now is just walk through creating it, because I think this is how it's most helpful to you. If you want to run this on your own, or if you want help setting this up, then you want to pay someone to do this. That is what our business does at Automation Consulting Services. So just reach out to us and we can do it for you. But this video is designed for people who want to do it on their own. So we're going to start, and we are going to grab a trigger. And we'll just schedule trigger. Perfect. You can double click it. It doesn't really matter what we set it for right now. We just need a trigger. And then we are going to add an HTTP request. Should just type in, click this. I'm going to assume people who are watching this don't know that much about it in hand, so I'll kind of go through each step. And we're going to do an HTTP request. And the request that we are going to make is going to be to Twitter, and we're going to use a particular URL. I'm just going to grab it from off screen here, come in and paste it. So I've got the endpoint that we need here from the Twitter API. You are not going to be able to do this yet. We're going to have to set up your Twitter API, which I will walk you through momentarily. But that is what this first HTTP request is going to be. So I'm going to have you open up a new tab here. And you're going to go to, you can just type in, developer. I think it's developers.x, developer.x.com. Perfect. And you'll obviously need a Twitter account for this, right? So if you don't have a Twitter account, I'm not going to show that on this video. It's kind of outside the scope. But just go make yourself a Twitter account, and then you're going to come to developer.x.com and just follow the prompts to make a account. That'll take you 5 minutes or so to do. Go ahead and do that. Pause the video now, and then come back. And assuming you are back now, you're going to come up here and you are going to create your application. So you can come in and make an app on the developer dashboard here. And once you get to this screen, and again, if I'm missing any steps here, please just drop it in the comments below so I can walk you through what to do. Yes, you're going to come to the project app here, and then you're going to grab your keys and tokens. So I've configured this already for this account, but what you need to do is you need to scroll down and you need to generate all these keys. You're going to have to generate all those, and then there's going to be a setup button here. You're going to click setup, and it's going to take you to another screen, which I can't get to right now. And I'm not going to regenerate this key just for the purpose of this video. But you're going to go into that, and you will need to enter a redirect URL. When you do that, let me just show you what that redirect URL is going to look like. We type in a Twitter. Just grab a Twitter node here. So this is going to be the redirect URL, and then it's going to prompt you and offer you a client ID and a client secret. Those are the two pieces of information that you need. So hop onto the X developer, grab those pieces of information. This is probably the most confusing part of the video in terms of, if you're not a developer, how do I get in here? How do I find this stuff? So go hop in, grab that information, set it up, make sure you put in the correct redirect URL. You can just type this out. Or if you're in n8n already. Sorry, here as I'm clicking around. You can come in and you can set up a credential here and just grab the OAuth redirect URL. Totally fine. And then when it asks for the base URL, just include this all the way up until cloud / and you can leave out the OAuth too. That should give you everything you need. I just did this recently, but again, I don't want to regenerate right now. So just go ahead and do that. And then once you do that, you're going to navigate back to this page here, and we can begin to configure the HTTP requests. So this is the first step to our flow here. And you're not going to have this information yet because this is going to be the user ID for the account that we want. So we'll leave that blank. But what we'll need next is we need that account ID. So actually what we're going to have to do in order to finish this HTTP request is make another HTTP request. So you can press the tab key on your keyboard or just come over here and press plus and then type in HTTP, enter. That's going to generate a new node. Come over here and we are going to make a GET request. And we are going to make the request to this URL, which I'm going to grab off screen here. Here is the endpoint to the API. User/by/username, and then connect club. That's the name of that account that I was playing around with. But you delete that and you put in the handle for your account, or whatever account you want to be generating, whatever account you want for this use case. We're replying to a tweet. So whatever account you would want to have replied to, just put that account in. So I'll leave connect club in since that is the account we're using. And we actually don't want this connected. So if you connected it like that, you can just move it over here. We're going to use it as a separate. And then we also need to send some headers. So you're going to highlight the send headers. Authentication you can leave for now. Query parameters you can leave for now. But this is case sensitive. So this is very important that you get this right. Authorization, capital A, no space at the end. And then you're going to type in bearer space. That's really important. Spaces do matter here. They don't always matter. And then we have to go and grab our bearer token from the X API. So you'll have generated that already from your developer X API platform, the bearer token. If you lost it already, just regenerate it. Otherwise, hopefully you saved it somewhere. Totally fine to regenerate it. I have my token already. And again, you don't want to share these things with people. That's why they're hidden. So just make sure you put that somewhere safe. And then you're going to come in, throw your token in. I'm going to grab mine. Toss the token in here since we're building this out as we go. And then we should just double check that we have everything in place. That looks good. We can run the request here. And you should have a node executed successfully if your Twitter API is set up correctly. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab this ID. This is the idea. Just copy and paste it. This is the idea I was talking about before. We're going to come and we're going to drop this in to the HTTP requests, paste it, and now we have our correct endpoint, right, which is users, and then that is going to be the Twitter user ID that we want. You're going to get it for your account. And then let's just build out the rest of this request here. We are going to send headers with this again, that same move that you just made with the other API. You're going to grab the name, authorization, make sure you capitalize it, no space at the end, super important on that. Bear with a space, go grab your bearer token from X, or if you put it in a notepad, you can do that. I'm going to toss mine in here. Again, it's super long. It's trying to protect you. Great. So that is our first step here. We are going to refrain from testing it right now. What it will do though is it's going to come and it's going to grab all of the tweets. Or we probably can test it, but you can only do this request, this get request, to get tweets. Since we're going to be using the free Twitter API, you can only do it once every 15 minutes, which makes testing these things a little bit of a pain if you're using the free account, because in order to run a test, all the steps have to fire, and the steps won't fire if you've made a request 4 tweets in the last 15 minutes. And the reason Twitter does that is because they charge a ton of money, and I'm sure they make a lot of money charging for API access, so you can make requests more quickly than once every 15 minutes. So if that's something you're interested in, you can pay for it. I think it's $200 a month for the next level. And then if you want like the super access, it's like $5,000 a month. Great. So now next step, what we're going to do. So we are assuming this is going to fire. It's going to return tweet IDs. And I think we actually will have to fire it right now just so we can get those IDs for the purposes of this video. But what we're going to do next is we are going to use AI to help generate this. So let's grab from the AI agent, we're going to use ChatGPT. We'll press OpenAI, and then we're going to have a bunch of options here. You are going to grab message a model. You can double click it. We do want to hook it up. I'm going to just press the escape key on my keyboard there. I'm just going to configure this to how we had it before, so it's a little bit neater. Again, nothing crazy. And this is going to generate a reply for the first Twitter bot that was created. So what you are going to have to do now, this is another important step, is you are going to have to generate, you're going to have to create a developer account with OpenAI, which you can do. You just need to make an account. It's pretty inexpensive, honestly. But you're going to go to, I believe it's openai.platform. Yeah, great. Platform.openai. I have made my account already. It looks like I need to log in, but you'll sign up or log in if you already have one. And what you're going to need, you need one piece of information from there. Right, so you can log in. I'm not going to do it. But log in, create an account, and then you need to navigate to, let's go back here. Once you're logged in, you are going to find, you can just type in here in the search bar, just type in API keys, and it's going to give you this. It'll give you API keys. I think what you're going to have to do first, though, before you get your API keys, is it's going to ask you to put in some money into your account. So you're going to want to add some money to your ChatGPT OpenAI account. You could honestly add $1 and you'll be fine. You can do so much with just $1. The cost to make the cost for 1 million tokens, and a token is about like, I think 3/4 of a word. That's what they say. The cost for 1 million tokens, so about 1 million words, right? Let's say 750,000 words, is 60 cents. That's how much it costs for to use their API. So, and just to put it into context, right? Like a 300-page book has 100,000 words in it, 75,000 to 100,000 words. So for $1, you can have ChatGPT write 9 to 10 300-page books for you. So $1 will get you really far. So go ahead and throw that in, and you're going to grab your API key. Again, I apologize for not doing all the steps here. I need to be better on the next video. But go hop in and grab that. And then what you're going to need to do is come in and just to remind us where we are here, right? This is where we are. We've created the message model. And you're going to have to come in and create a new credential. So you can press this or press this, right? Create a new credential. And then you need the API key, and that's all you need to do. Just paste it in. It'll work. And then you can make calls to the API, so you can talk with the model programmatically. And I'll just give you a minute to go do that, right? This is a tutorial video, so I'm assuming you're following along. So yeah, go ahead and do that. And if you're back with me now, we are going to choose a model. We're going to message a model. We're going to choose a model. We're going to use the 4.0 mini model. It's 4-0. 4.0. Just type in mini, it'll pop up. GPT 4.0 mini. So when I mentioned the pricing before, I was mentioning it for the mini model. Other models will cost more. The mini model's very inexpensive. All right, and so the next thing you're going to need to do to set this up, so this is going to be the response that one of the bots generates to, that's going to be posted to Twitter. We're going to need 2 prompts here. We're going to need this user prompt, and you're going to click add message, and we're also going to need a system prompt. So every AI model, you're going to want to have a system prompt, which gives you like a general, it tells the model like generally what it's doing, right? So often you'll see like you are a helpful assistant, but we're going to throw in this custom prompt, which is kind of silly, right? This is for, this bot, right? The bot's a 35-year-old woman who's sassy but fun. She's single. She loves what she loves, hates what she hates, yada, yada, yada. She likes football, girls' nights out. You can do whatever you want, and that'll just help the bot to customize their response. And then the user prompt is for specifics about what the bot is going to reply to. So this is like who you are, and then this is like this is who the bot is, right? The backstory of the bot, and then this is the prompt in front of the bot, right? Which can change at every given time. So the idea would be the system role will stay the same, and the system prompt would stay the same. And you can build this out a ton if you want, but then the user role and the user prompt, or the user prompt, this is called, will change, kind of depending on the scenario. So you can copy this one if you want. And what this is going to do is it's going to reply to this tweet. And then this is, an expression formula to grab the tweet that we'll be pulling from the HTTP request. And the bot's going to show support for this tweet. They're going to keep it to under 280 characters and include 0 hashtags just so it doesn't seem kind of spammy or weird. And then adding don't hallucinate to the end of your user prompt the studies have shown that it actually improves the performance of the bot. So sometimes the bots will just do things that are random, which is why you want to test them pretty well before you send them into deployment live to run automatically on your account. But don't hallucinate is a helpful thing to add for whatever reason. So that we are set up here on our flow. The next thing that we're going to add, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be copy and pasting this, which will speed up our flow. But you're going to type in Twitter or X. Great. You can click any one of these. They all do the same thing. The resource, we're going to tweet. You can see I've created my credential already, but let's just back out of here for a minute so we can spread this out and I can show you. So we've got our trigger. We're going to get that HTTP. We're going to make the HTTP request to get the tweet from that initial account. And then we are going to copy that tweet and paste it into the model. The model is going to reply to that tweet based off the system prompt. And then what we want to do is we want to get that response and we want to post that response to Twitter. So in order to do that, we're going to have to use our credentials from before, right? Our bearer tokens and such. We're actually going to create a new credential. So you're going to need that client ID and client secret again. So go back into your X developer dashboard. Those are down here, right? Client ID, client secret, right? You don't want to reveal those, so just keep those secret. And then you're going to come in and create that credential in X. So just copy and paste client ID, client secret, bang, you're done. And then you can come back here. And like I said, we're going to make a tweet. The operation is going to be create. We're going to use an expression here. Since we haven't generated the tweet yet, we have another option where you can just press the 2 curly braces and then type in json.message.content. And that is going to grab our content. And then right, this is the node, right? Essentially, this is an HTTP request to Twitter. If you wanted to use an HTTP request instead of using this Twitter X node, you totally could. This is just a little bit faster because the authentication is built in. So we're going to reply to a tweet, and then we'll run this up to this step. And this is the piece where the configuration can get a little tricky because, like we said, we can only do this once every 15 minutes. So let's run this. And it might not allow us to do this right now because we ran one recently. And we ran into a problem in our node. Okay. So the reason that this didn't run is because I copied this from my notes, and HTTP request 1 actually doesn't exist. So this is the sort of stuff, the more you play around, the more you'll get better at it. You can see the name of the node is just HTTP request, not HTTP request 1. So you can see it turns green. But we already got the tweet, so that's going to give us the tweet, right? Here was the tweet that we fired off last time. I need a dinner recommendation site in LA. Help me out. Great. OpenAI is going to grab that. Let's fire this node. We can test this step from here. Perfect. Hey there, how about trying Bestia for a delicious Italian, right? So that's great. That's like a legitimate tweet from our bot. So we're going to come in. You can see as you click on each node, the information is going to pop up. And we said, okay. So we grab the json.message.content, which you can also do, right? So you can type it in with those brackets, or you can just grab it like this and throw it in. That's even easier. And you want to make sure you grab the content since there's a number of things, right? So grab the content. Great. And then we want to reply to the tweet ID. So up here, you have a couple of different options. And again, this can be kind of overwhelming if you're just getting started, but just bear with me here. You'll get better at it as you go. So make sure you clicked on table, and then we're going to click on this. This is going to take us through our nodes, right? So this is our first node, second node. This is the node we want to reply to, or this node is going to contain our ID that we want to reply to. So just come in here. This is the ID, right, that we said we want to reply to. This is the tweet ID, which is going to, we're going to throw right there, and that's going to allow us to reply to the tweet. So if we fire this off right now, I'm hooked up to Lucy Smith. Right, I would want to set it to Jane Ashford, which is just, those are just names of the bots, just so I could keep the account straight. But whatever account you would want to reply with, you will need to set up that credential in X here. So if you're following along exactly with this use case, which you may want to, you may not want to, you would want to go and create a couple Twitter accounts. In order to do that, you'll need to create emails as well. In order, I think every Twitter account needs to have a unique email or phone number associated with it. So you'd have to go and hop around to a couple different email providers and just make an email. That can be more or less easy depending on the email provider, but Twitter's pretty lenient about that. Facebook and Instagram, not at all. It's very hard to create a Facebook or Instagram account right now with an email that's not like legitimate. So you can go and do that. You can use any number of mail services if you want to follow along. But what you will need to do if you wanted to create bot accounts, let's just assume you do, you want to follow along exactly, you will need to create this credential here again for another account. So you'd come back to developer.x, and you'd have to sign out and then go through that same process you went through to create a developer account for the new bot. So just assuming that you want to do that for your bot. So I'll let you do that if you want to. If you wanted to follow along, right, there's 3 accounts that you'll need in order to follow along exactly with this video. So you'd have to go and create those. So we're going to reply to Jane Ashford node. And again, we have our text, right? This is going to be the reply. And then our ID here, which we've got from this earlier node. And then I'm going to add, right, we're not going to run that just yet. I'm going to add a wait module. So if you come, right, press here or press the tab, type in wait. We're just going to set it to 1 second since we're waiting, but you would want to configure this. You do not want your tweets to be sent off one after the other. I'm just doing it for testing purposes. It will trigger the spam filters on Twitter, and your tweets will be flagged and kind of hidden in a spam filter. So just be aware of that. All right. So this is our first reply, right? So this is for the account titled JaneBot. So just walking through again quickly what's going on, right? We've got the trigger. We have the HTTP request, which is getting the tweets, all of the tweets from the connect_club account, which I had mentioned. And then this is going to generate the reply to that tweet. So that tweet is coming in here as as the content to be replied to, with that system prompt that we mentioned, right? With the system prompt, this is going to actually go post it to Twitter. And the way it's going to know which tweet to reply to is using this ID. And then we're going to wait for 1 second, but you would set this for longer if you wanted this sort of thing to be an option for you and your business. And then what we're just going to do here is we're just going to copy this. So just press, right, if you saw that move, you can just double click, hold down here. Can't see it super well, but just make sure you get around all of the nodes. So if you do halfway on a node, it's not going to select it. You can see here, like halfway doesn't get it, but the full way selects it. So just make sure you grab the whole thing, press Control C, and then unhighlight those, Control V, just like you would with anything else on a computer, as long as you are technologically savvy. And then just come in and connect this to that, just like that. And we are going to come in here and message model. And so this is going to be our other bot. So we're going to do the same thing we did last time. You're going to have to configure this, right, with your credential that you put into OpenAI. We're going to text, message model, 4.0 mini is going to be the same. That's all the same. And we're even going to keep the user prompt the same here, but the system prompt is going to be a little different, right? So before we had a 35-year-old woman who's sassy. Here we're going to have another woman, right? This is just created at random, but this is pretty important for customizing the personality and how you want them to reply. 27-year-old married woman who already has 3 kids. You're quiet and confident. It seems like you should really dislike posting on social media, but you really love it. You see it as an important outlet. You love your husband and your family, right? So a family woman. She's going to be offering replies as well to that initial tweet. So the initial tweet is a recommendation for a restaurant in our demo. And then this is going to be that reply from the first bot. This is the second bot who's going to be replying to this. They're going to have a little back and forth. So that's configured, right? Pretty quick and easy. Yeah, you can just copy and paste this. If you want to copy and paste this, I will put these in the comments of the video. So if you want to just copy and paste those from there, you can definitely do that. All right. So that's configured. You're going to come in here. If you're following along exactly as you see it on the video, you're going to make another Twitter account, right? Because this is going to be the third account if you haven't created it already. You'll need to generate an email and then go generate another Twitter account. That should take you about 5 minutes. And then come back. Once you generate the Twitter account, you'll need to set up the developer account as well for that Twitter. You'll go through those steps. You will have to generate those API keys. This one specifically, you'll have to set that up and get your client ID and client secret so that you can come in and create a new credential and put in the client ID and client secret. Those are kind of the only ones that you'll need for this. And I believe the permissions are correct as well. Again, if I'm missing anything here, I'm not doing this exactly as it is on your computer, so please drop comments. I love to help people with these sorts of things. And our team at Automation Consulting Services does as well. So that's what we're here for. So you will go in and create that credential. Again, I have my credentials created already here. Lucy Smith is going to be the bot that's replying. We're going to do tweet. We're going to do create. Everything's going to be the same because this is going to reference the content not from this first OpenAI message model, but from the second. That's how these expression brackets work. That's going to take that, and we're actually going to keep the tweet ID the same as well from HTTP request, because we want to reply to that initial tweet. We want it all to be on that initial reply. That's just how we've configured it. Great. So that step is done, actually. And we're just going to do copy like we did before and paste, grab the whole thing. We'll connect these nodes. So we're connected up. And then we're going to come back in here. We're going to open up our OpenAI model, message a model. That's what we're doing. And we are going to reply to, we're going to change this up just a little bit this time. So we're going to get rid of this. And again, you can configure this as you want, but instead of replying to the initial post, right? So we're in this node here. Instead of replying to this initial post, right, the recommendation about or the request for a recommendation about a restaurant in LA, we're going to reply to this post. So the names of the bots are, this is Jane, this is Lucy. Jane is going to reply to Lucy here. That's how it's going to go. So we're going to switch the credential to Jane, right? This is just a silly example. And then we need to, we're going to actually leave the ID the same. Again, we jumped a step ahead here. So forgive me for that. We're back here. Yeah, we're going to leave the prompt the same. No, we're not, because that prompt is for this is the Jane Ashford bot. So we need to take this prompt. And this is just kind of how this goes. You know, this is just like any other work you're going to do. You just got to be really meticulous about it and make sure everything works well together. So if you're struggling with this and you want help and you want to pay for it more than just, you know, support in the comments and things like that, please reach out so that Automation Consulting Services can help you with all of your problems and help you generate top-line revenue for your business, and also save on costs on the bottom line as well. All right, so this is the prompt for that Jane Ashford bot that we have. Again, we're just being consistent here. Feel free, if you're done watching this video and you want to run with this, go ahead. But we're just going to finish the project kind of as we saw it. Great. So let's just run these nodes at this point, just so we have this. We'll test that step. Great. So you can see here, this is the response from the Jane Ashford bot. That's great. So it worked. It's going to wait. We're going to fire this step now. This is the other bot, right? That's got another response. Wonderful. We're going to come in. We've already set it up, right? It's going to grab that response. Let's just fire that. And again, we've done all that hard work. We've set up all the API stuff. So this is all working well. Great. So there's the response. That's posted on Twitter. We could go check that out if we want. And then this is going to be a reply. Let's generate this. this is going to be a reply, right, from, get my names mixed up here. This is Jane, Lucy, Jane. So Jane is replying to Lucy, right? So they're having like a conversation, right? This like mimics the client who I built this for wanted this to mimic a conversation between like two people. So that's what we're going for. So yeah, they're having a conversation here, right? I'm all in for this. Life's too short to hold back. I can't even remember what personality this is. Either the sassy 35-year-old or the 27-year-old mom. And then we're going to go and post that to Twitter. Great. And so you can see here, you will need to set this up. So we posted that to Twitter. So let's just hop back here, keeping you in mind as our viewer. And you are going to throw this into there. Yeah, exactly. So we've created that. We've generated this. And now we need to go post it to Twitter. Again, I had mine configured already, but you would need this, which you can just grab from here. And you also would need to reply to tweet, right? So you're going to add a field here. I'd forgotten to mention that stuff. And click reply to tweet. That's where that field is going to be. And then you're going to grab the ID from back here. So we want, these are all our nodes. We want to go back to the most recent X node. We're going to reply. We're going to grab this ID. Since there's only one option here, we're just going to grab it dynamically and just pull it in, and that's going to give us the correct expression, which is what we want. Great. So that tweet will actually change based off of changing it there. And then we have our wait node. Let's copy the second one more time. That'll save us just one step since Lucy is going to be the one replying. This is the Lucy bot. We'll come down here and we'll paste it. And we'll connect. And message model, reply to this tweet. Let's come in here. We will change that out. We're going to go back to this X tweet here. Again, grab the ID. Spin under 280 characters, include your support, yada, yada, yada. Okay, that's all set up. We're going to back out. So this is set up here. Let's come into X. And I'm getting myself mixed up here. I had you change this before. I should not have done that. So let me go back. Forgive me for kind of doing this on the fly. I should have made a stronger script for you all, but we want to reply to that original tweet. So in this X node, if you were questioning me, very good for you, because you should have been. We need to reply to the original HTTP request. That way, when we go on X, we will have all the comments in the same thread, which is what we want. So leave that here. And then down in this node, you're going to leave that here. Again, you can click up here and press escape. That'll get you out. But what we needed to configure is we want the responses to be a little different, right, for this. So that's correct. We've got that. You can see X2 is the name of the node. So let's back out X2. That's what we want to reply to. Let's make sure this is replying to X1. Let's just double check that. See, this is where we forgot. I forgot, rather. X1. Grab the ID, and you can drag it in here. X1. And also, just one other thing to be aware of if you're working on this and your computer's running slow, this is a heavy program. It's not using that much right now, but closing out other tabs can speed up your performance. So just being aware of that. You need some tabs open, but if you're a heavy tab user and you don't have a lot of RAM on your computer, that can be very helpful. So, all right, well, we have configured this appropriately. So let's go into X. And if you're going into your account, right, we did the dinner recommendation in LA. And you can see they gave the same recommendation here, right? As you're digging into this a little more, you can see the responses. So they're not great, and it's very didn't really spend that much time configuring them. But let's go to X. Let's post. Let's go home. Let's post a reply. Let's pretend we're in Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta on business. Who has a great restaurant? Or who has like Jin's restaurant? Something fun to do. I don't know. So we'll just give this a minute. Sometimes it takes a minute for the tweet to kind of propagate throughout Twitter. Let's save this here. We'll just refresh this page. That can help. And then, right, this is the workflow that we built out. So if you have your own account set up here, you'll want to make the post on your like original posting account. That is going to be the account that you generated from up here from way back in the video, beginning of the video. And then we have these other accounts that are going to post, right? So this is going to be Jane, Lucy, Jane, Lucy. So we should see 4 replies to this tweet if we configured this all correctly. And so we did this on the fly. So let's run this and let's just see what happens. Great. So it took that. We're generating replies here. Wonderful. Everything's working as we want it to. That's a beautiful thing. And if you're getting a lot of errors running yours, don't worry, that's totally normal. Drop comments in the comment below. We're going to set up a school soon too if people want to reach out there. That isn't set up yet though. So feel free to just drop comments if you have questions to run that. So let's go take a look at what our results were. And again, this is going to be pretty spammy. Great. We got our 4 responses. See, I recognize it's probably spam. No one's replying instantaneously to tweets. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's not great, right? That's not the response I really want there. Totally get that vibe. Balancing life's chaos is key. I'm in Atlanta on business. Who has something fun to do? But then here, yeah, I must have messed up the prompt, what it was prompting. Because these replies are not super relevant, unlike our last tweet, right, about the restaurants. But these tweets are, right, looking for something fun to do in Atlanta. Georgia Aquarium, that line for arts and dining, right? These are like legitimate Falcons game, right? So some of them I just must have messed something up there. So if you get tweets that are somewhat irrelevant on yours, that's on me. But anyway, that is the finished product. So this is a legitimate flow that a client asked me to build. Asked our team to build at Automation Consulting Services, and it's a flow that will hopefully inspire you, right? If you're a content creator, business owner, you need help generating content, hopefully inspire you, or maybe you'll use something similar if you have a use case idea. Or if you're just getting comfortable with n8n, right, and you want to build this out as a career, right? This is just a great project to get started, especially getting familiar with the X/Twitter API. Getting to know those APIs is super important. You're going to find that is where a lot of the legwork for building these things is getting to know these APIs. They have rate limits. There's just a lot of things that you have to become familiar with in order to use the API effectively. Getting the cost to run it, knowing those costs, right? So running this was basically free. this simple node. But there are limits, we said. You can do this once every 15 minutes. I think you can make 15 posts an hour for each of these accounts, or maybe it's 15 posts a day. I have to double check that. And then each of these, right, this is like we said, pennies, pennies. You can write books, and it costs you 60 cents. But then we didn't talk about setting up n8n, but you will need to set up n8n as well. You can self-host this if you don't need to schedule it. You don't want it to run on the cloud, so you can download their desktop app. You can also download the cloud and get a free, I think, 2 weeks or 3 weeks on n8n, which is great. But that wraps up this tutorial. So hope you found this helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe. Hopefully you'll drop some comments below about thoughts or questions. We will get around to answering those. And again, if you are interested in learning more about automation, n8n, make.com, Zapier, things like that, please reach out in the comments below, and we'd love to connect with you, especially if you are a business owner, business executive looking to save time and money. So thanks, everyone, and we will see you next time. Bye now.